is just me personally, okay? The first story that I'm gonna start with is called Something's Wrong with My Wife's Cooking. And I just want to say that if you have anything on you, hit it with me. Actually, before I jump into it, if you guys want to follow me on Instagram, go follow me on Instagram. If you do follow me on Instagram, you know I rolled a cross J, okay? I rolled a little cross J, and I will be smoking it in my next video. Okay, so, yeah, I just wanted to say that. So, let's get into this little story. I'm gonna be looking this way because my computer, I poked the piece of pot roast with my fork and took a whiff. My wife must have caught. Oh no, I already feel like I'm reading weird. Hold on. Let's try that again. I poked a piece. Oh my god. I poked a piece of pot roast with my fork and took a whiff. My wife must have caught my reaction because she glared at me from across the table. What is it now, Ron? I'm just not in the mood for roast, dear. Yesterday you weren't in the mood for chicken parm, and Monday you wouldn't touch the pork chops. What the hell is wrong with my food? It was true. I've been refusing to eat her food for nearly 2 weeks now. Something was off with it. Sorry, dear. I'm just not hungry lately. Bullshit. I know you take late night trips to get food. Apparently, she wasn't as heavy of a sleeper as she claimed. Apparently, she just liked to ignore me. Well, sorry, Danielle. Maybe I just don't like your cooking anymore. Damn. Well, I am just so sorry that your wife isn't a professional chef. Listen, hon, maybe you should start making just enough for you so I can actually eat something I like. Maybe if you made enough money, I wouldn't have to work. Maybe then I could take lessons. Maybe then my food would be acceptable to you. But until then, we cannot afford for you to eat out every day. She pushed my plate closer to me. Eat it. I couldn't understand why lately she was so insistent that I eat the food she served me. It made her angry when I refused. I grabbed the plate and stood up from the table. I'll eat in the living room. On the way to the couch, I scraped the contents of the plate in the toilet and flushed it down. I figured I should at least try to fool her. I refuse to eat any of my wife's food. There's nothing inherently wrong with it. It is just, well, disgusting to me at least. It doesn't matter if it's fish, chicken, pork, even beef. It's just not the same. I've lost my taste for regular meat. I was able to force it down for years, but now I can't even stand the smell of it. There's only one type of flesh that satisfies me. My wife is right. I won't be going to get food later night. The fresher, the better. Why you mean by that one? Because there's only one type of flesh that satisfies me. I literally was about to be like, oh my god, you guys, this is not even a scary story. Is this literally just a rant this guy did talking about how much he just doesn't like his wife's cooking? No, that motherfucker doesn't like regular ass food. That mother trucker don't like regular food. Oh my god. Okay. Next. Okay. Love is an unexpected place. Okay. So, he has been alone for a long time. Carl wasn't really the type of guy that girls were into. Despite trying every trick, he knew he couldn't find love. bit startled. Understandably, it was the first time that it ever worked, after all. Real as fuck. As they got to know each other, love blossomed rapidly between them. Every time he reached out to her, she was always there to support him. Their walks were engaging. They would watch her favorite 50s movie together by candlelight, and he loved it. She was the greatest thing that ever happened to him. It wasn't all sunshine and happiness. Quite the opposite. Sometimes she would get jealous over stupid things and would throw plates across the room or slam doors, and their sex life was far from typical. She was more of a watcher, but at the end of the day, it was still the best relationship he has ever been in. Is it the only relationship Carl has ever been in? Cause let me break it to you, buckaroo. Okay, guys, I don't know, but lately I've been really liking to do like a wannabe Southern accent. If you're actually Southern and you're watching this for some reason, I mean no offense whatsoever. I love your guys' accents. I wish I could do it just like you guys, but ever since I saw a TikTok of this tarot card reader. Please, I hope you guys really know what I'm talking about, because I'm not gonna put the video in here because it's gonna be too loud. But it's like, don't you dare get naked for that motherfucker. Don't you dare ride his dangling, okay? Yeah, so like she's kind of been like my persona that I've been taking on, so what can I say? But anyways, as he stepped out the shower, he spotted the message by Carl written on the steamy mirror. Overwhelmed by panic, he frantically searched the entire apartment, but it was nowhere to be seen. Wendy got tired of the same old routine. She hid the Ouija board where it could never be found, so that Carl could never, ever abduct her again. Who's the ghost? Wendy or Carl? Wait, am I slow? Yes. Wait, the ghost is Wendy, right? Wait, no, Carl's the ghost. Because she hit the Ouija board. Why would the ghost be hiding the Ouija board, right? Okay. And my final story. This one I'm excited for because it says, a week ago I suspected my wife of cheating. Today I wish that was my reality. 8 days ago, my wife's appointments became more and more frequent and began to make less and less sense. After she poured her heart into explaining why her doctor wanted to see her at 2 in the morning, I saw the grace only love could bring out in one. Be so fucking for real. Why would your doctor need to see somebody at 2 in the morning? Like, not even her having to go see. He wants. Okay. I can't say I'm proud of it, but after evaluating my options, I logged onto her phone while she was sleeping. I was heartbroken but not shocked to find she had been planning meetups with various men at spots one wouldn't think to check. I have an incline of what this is gonna end up, and if I'm right, I'm a genius. Instead of confronting her, I realized how it looked on me to be snooping on her phone and decided to become an uninvited guest to one of her dates. The further my Uber guys, I was gonna say Uber. The farther my Uber drove to the warehouse she listed, the worse I felt, failing to justify that means to the end as my fear enveloped. I arrived 20 minutes before, hiding behind a pile of old crates with a clear view, and this time I reflected on how hard it was to sneak in here. My newfound depression, stinging from the links of my sweet Hannah, went to hurting me. My thoughts were interrupted by the sound of tires hitting gravel one after another. Trying to keep my composure, composure upon seeing her exchange saliva with another lever, pierced worse than pain before. You know, you know the song Rather Go Blind, but I'd rather go blind, boy, 'cause I could not see that. My sorrow turned to a deep concern as the man began to scream, his shouts being muffled by their interlocked lips. My heart sank and my blood ran dead cold as I saw her spit out his tongue. Her face soon after developing that sweet smile I knew too well. When she began to feast upon his face, I found my frozen state to make an escape. As I booked my Uber, I quietly crawled out of my hiding place and felt the dingy warehouse unseen. My jogging pace turned into a sprint in an effort to avoid throwing up from the ungodly noises she made, slopping from the gravel to the car to her bed. The next morning she made no effort to greet me or prepare me breakfast, tipping me to the fact that she either knew or suspected I had been there. Over the past few days, I've tried my hardest to act like nothing happened, with the image of my wife eating a man like a dog with kibble replaying over and over again. She kept her distance, but after I stopped going to work, she approached me this morning as I stared at the ceiling. I'm not unfaithful. I'm just different, she softly spoke to me. After I paid her no mind, her somber expression turned into one of agitation as she stopped hiding her long snarling teeth and biting orange eyes in her rage. She held my hand over her stomach and asked simply, "How are you going to provide for both of us when you can't even accept when that girl is preggers? That girl is preggers." There's one right here that says my fiance gotta get her card reading before she died, and I really want to read it. I don't believe in psychic powers, reading tea leaves, crystal balls, tarot cards. I think it's all a bunch of baloney. Guys, can we talk about why the fuck is baloney spelled like that? I almost said baloney. But my fiance cries. I loved her, but she wouldn't do anything without getting a reading first. It was the last thing she did before she died, which is why I went to see her tarot card reader. "How'd you know?" I asked. The man sitting across from me resembled a pirate, including a funny hat, lots of gold rings, and an eye patch. The small basement apartment, which he called his business, stunk of cheap incense and aftershave. "I'm psychic. I know things," the pirate psychic said. "Fascinating. Why don't we start with..." Actually, I interrupted. "I was hoping you could do a reading about my fiance." "What would you like to know?" "Well, Jesus, kind of embarrassing to ask," I said, "but I want to know if our marriage would last." The psychic shuffled his deck and drew the first card, the sun, drawn upright. "That's a good sign. It indicates that there will be joy, success, and positivity in your marriage." "Tell me, do you have any doubts about getting married, or are you and your fiance happy together?" "We were so happy together, right up until the day she was murdered." "Excuse me, rest of your